A big part of identifying good research writing is looking at sources. There are three main parts to every source that distinguish effective research writing.
The CRAP test is extremely important in this process. This test determines the source's credibility. C stands for currency. In other words, the more updated the information, the more valuable the source. R stands for relevance, meaning that the source connects to what you're researching. The first A stands for authority. This determines whether or not the information is credible. The second A stands for accuracy, which determines whether or not the information itself is accurate. P stands for purpose. This helps you understand why the information was written. All of these guidelines must be used for every source to make sure the information they include in their paper is credible.
In-text citations are extremely important. They give credit to information garnered from other sources, as well as distinguish where that information starts and ends. Without the proper format, the author could be plagiarizing material. To create these citations, authors can use Purdue OWL as a great resource for creating these citations. In-text citations are crucial to any good research paper. The final part to a good source is integration. This refers to how well you introduce and explain information presented by a source. Without integrating the source, the information would seem random and out of place and would not flow correctly.
Not only do you want to make sure the sources follow the CRAP test, have the correct citations, and are integrated into the paper, but you should also make sure the paper has a good organization. There are two types of organization, macro and micro.
With all writing, there should be macro organization, meaning there should be an overall topic or idea for the paper. The paper should also be structured in a way that makes sense. Having good body, introduction, and conclusion paragraphs help to keep the paper organized.
Microorganization refers to the small ideas within the paragraphs of the paper that build up to the main point. This can be seen in the structure of each individual body paragraph. While the introduction and conclusion paragraphs have a little more freedom in their structure, the body paragraphs usually follow a similar pattern. There is a topic sentence, an introduction to a quote, the quote, an explanation of the quote, and a transition to the next paragraph. Macro and micro organization are important to good research writing because the organization makes the paper flow.
Before, we had mentioned that without integration for sources, the flow of the paper would be interrupted. There are also other parts of the paper that make it flow better. The hook, sentence structure, and transitions all are extremely important for the flow of the paper.
The hook is one of the most important parts because it is the thing that grabs the reader's attention. You should make sure the hook is placed appropriately in the introduction paragraph and that the other sentences in the intro either build up to it or build off of it. For example, a good hook uses a statistic, a quote, or a short story to grab the reader's attention.
To make sure the paper flows throughout and not just where the hook is, it is important to have varied sentence structure and transitions. When we say sentence structure, we mean the lengths and types of sentences that can be used. From compound to simple and complex, there's a plethora of ways to mix up the rhythm of the paper. This will help to give the paper some shape and keep it from being flat and monotonous.
Oh, are you okay? Oh, it's fine. Just shake it off. Shake it off. Oh, okay, yep.
You should also look for transitions either in between ideas or paragraphs. This will stop any abrupt endings to thoughts and help give each point some closure and a good beginning.
That sums up how you can find good effective research writing. There are obviously other little nuances, but having credible sources, good organization, and an interesting flow are the main parts to a great paper. Now, if we only knew this before the paper was ruined in the pool.
You want to wait before you do the backflip?
Wait, put this on my Snapchat story.
And we need bloopers.
How about I just try to get back up onto it again?
How about you try and get down? Ah!
We need bloopers.